the release of Create Aeronautics, we are finally able to build cars, airships, and planes with actual physics. I know practically nothing about Create, so I was given the opportunity to challenge myself. The goal of this video will be to kill the Ender Dragon. But I'm only allowed to do it through an aeronautic contraption. A bow and arrow is not allowed, but shooting an arrow through a dispenser on a blimp is. It also has to be original. Not only do I have to understand every part of the mechanisms, I'm only allowed to use contraptions that I have built myself. And with these rules, I will play through Minecraft while learning and improving my designs until I master every aspect of aeronautics. All to create the one contraption capable of defeating the Ender Dragon once and for all. There's a long ride ahead of us, folks, so strap in! Because what I thought would be a 2-day project max ended up being the hardest challenge I've ever set out to achieve. Anyways, so yeah, I am recording. I started by generating a new world and getting the basics done, and after finding a few items from a nether portal and a sunken ship, I set out to scout for a perfect location for my upcoming hangar. Also, I might as well share with you all of the mods I'm using here. You need 2 other essentials for aeronautics itself. Base kit Create and a mod that actually enables physics called Sable. I also recommend using just enough items, which allows you to quickly see crafting recipes while also having quick access to one of Create's best features, the Ponder, a keybind that shows what new blocks do with a visual demonstration. I'm also using distance horizons so I can extend my chunk render distance from 32 to over 800. With that said and done, I laid the foundation of a shoddy base. Luckily for me, I had a massive cave system next door that would supply all the riches I'll be utilizing for this massive project. There are a few rules you need to consider before making your first vessel. Number 1 is energy. We need it so we can power our thrusters and all the extra equipment that comes with Create. Luckily for us, we have several ways to generate power. Right here I'm building a water wheel, which is placed underneath a water current to get consistent, slow rotational energy. Yeah! We did it! For our plane, we're gonna be using the portable engine. Using the same fuel as a regular furnace, the fuel gauge is determined by the quality and amount of fuel you use, which outputs high-strength rotational speed through a single regular weighted block. That's right! Every single block has an assigned weight, from weightless to super light to normal to heavy to super heavy. And using the contraption diagram, you can assess where the center of gravity is on your plane, so you can accurately determine if the plane is too front or back heavy, if it's leaning too much to either side, and where to place your flaps and aileron.
Get away! Get away! I think I need a proper runway.
That's right! You will pivot the plane up and down using actual air pressure and drag. All of these mechanics can be steered using an extremely wide set of options. I would go over everything, but we would be here for actual hours. To start, we will utilize the humble linked controller, a wireless item in your inventory that controls like a game controller. 6 buttons, 2 for pitch, 2 for tilt, 1 for the engine, and 1 that we will assign to a secret mystery use case. But you heard that right, we need to assign them first. Now we have I can actually make a toggle. That would be nicer. I'm gonna try to see if I can make a toggle here. There we go. This is what I needed. Power toggle latch. Create Aeronautics only gives us the tools and the functionality to make the planes, but we are the ones that have to put our brains to the test to figure out how we're actually going to communicate to all parts of it, and this is why the mod is awesome. Well, that works. It's kind of off-center now, though, which is kind of annoying, but I'm optimistic. Okay, that didn't work. I don't know how I'm gonna get it back up there. Now, as fun as improv is, your ETA will end up shorter than expected by winging it. So after suffering a major loss from my first attempt, I was ready to iterate. I spent the rest of day 2 refining my design at the comfort of a creative world. Here I could use a creative engine to give me max speed with no overload. I was able to quickly iterate on my design and elongating the plane. I figured out how to make the plane more compact through the use of directional gear shifts that decides the rotation based on what side it gets a redstone signal from, which is easily controlled by placing 2 redstone links on either side. If you then connect them with wings made of torsion springs and mechanical bearings, you can emulate a hold and release kind of steering that we're all accustomed to. But what ultimately saved my plane was the rotational speed controller, as they convert rotational strength into speed. We need both strength and speed for the plane to work. Luckily, controllers are easy to stack. Not only can you connect rotation through the inputs on either side, what I did was stacking multiple of them in a row to give me the strength I needed, but apparently you can save on resources by connecting just one engine to a singular controller. The rest can be attached to any part of the network and it will work all the same. And after fixing the runway again, we were ready for try 2! Yes! Oh my god, yes! I actually did it. It's a pretty good plane. Like, it works the way you'd expect. You know, you pull backwards on S and you pull forwards on W.
And then you can turn. God, I can see here as well. If I look here, I can see how long my engine will last. Generally speaking, because I have 3 of them. Now if I crash, I'm actually screwed. Like, if I crash, I'm going to have to rebuild the plane. It's terrible.
But I didn't stop there. If you remember why we're doing this, it's all to create a contraption capable of defeating the Ender Dragon, so I needed to weaponize it. We had a lot of options to pick from. Potato cannons, dispensers, a rope connected to a green wrecking ball. Maybe I could even use the deployer to drop timed bed bombs. But being a veteran Minecraft player, my mind soon went to reminisce about the past.
Can you actually... No, there's no way. Can you have water on a flying ship? You can. So I can make a TNT cannon on the ship. Like, I have to try it. I can't believe this works. TNT, this is gonna be horrible. Well, it worked. What can I say?
Bear in mind, right, I need to manually, somehow I need to get up there and place a bunch of TNTs and then just shoot it out mid-flight. I guess it's I guess it's possible. Oh, well. This is so dumb! This is great though, it's great content. I don't understand what you're talking about. We need to make sure it's as little redstone as possible because, you know, it's gonna weigh quite a bit. Hey! Alright, we're getting some well, it does break, still break. I kept ending up with broken parts despite placing the TNT cannon correctly. What made matters worse is that the TNT gets detached from the physics of the plane when they get launched, and it's affected by drag. If you're shooting it forwards, it would boomerang itself back. So I began to wonder if I needed to steer away from the TNT completely. But trying to see if the cannon would work with a different contraption, I built a blimp, as it would give me more manual control and let me drop my TNT more predictably. But it was a bit convoluted, so I needed a new approach.
Oh, this is so... How do you make a TNT duper?
The TNT duper could not only solve the problem with resources, but was also compact enough to fit on just about anything. Applying physics on the duper itself didn't do much, but by surrounding it with a blimp, we were able to sustain a consistent barrage, all while being able to move around freely.
Now we are in the air. Alright, so while this is on, theoretically, this should work.
Alright, can we sit on it as well? This is so dumb! I can't believe this works! What the fuck? Alright, where's my controller? Here we go, let me drive. So consistent as well. Look at this.
Alright, celebration over. Now, time to figure out how we make this a... how I can control it.
Ah! This design needed some work, but thanks to this TNT duper, the path of defeating the dragon was now in plain sight. So the first item we'll be needing is slime.
I'm gonna use this plane to help me find a swamp. That's what I'm gonna do. But I need more fuel, so we're gonna see if we can land on the runway. Okay.
Oh man.
Not like that. Alright.
Now you'll need to get a lot of resources to build all of the mechanics required for aeronautics. Some items need to be smashed or blended, and this is where regular Create comes in. A lot of things can be optimized by using the rotational forces to create automation and conveyor lines. Unfortunately, I was pretty poor, so that wasn't really an option, but there is, however, a faster way to get the most important item you'll need. Whenever you connect an engine, you want to make sure that everything keeps rotating in the same direction so that nothing twists and breaks. But in this case, the engine was duplicated when it broke, giving me one engine for free.
Wait, I have another engine. What happened? What? I just have another engine. I can just place it. Wait, what? Okay, so now I have a maxed out engine. That's insane. Damn it. I don't... Okay, That's interesting. This is a bug. I encountered a bug. That's why. Sometimes it just breaks. Do I care about that? I mean, I'm gonna use a TNT duper, so...
Anyways, thanks to the extra engines, I was able to cap the rotational speed without overloading, finally making us ready to travel the insane distance required to reach the swamp.
Problem. The plane turns on its own.
Just kidding, my steering broke, so I had to make an emergency landing in a field.
Okay, what the fuck is going on with this plane? There's a gear shift.
And I had incidentally confused a directional gear shift for a regular one, which never stops and only reverts the rotation no matter what side it gets power from. It was a pretty subtle error, but this just goes to show that even small oversights can have terrible repercussions.
Rebuild this part! Oh, I don't want to do that! Oh. Time to kill myself.
All things considered, it was a pretty easy fix. I mean, I did have to walk all the way towards the spot where I crashed.
This a bit.
But with some minor fixes, we were back up in the air in no time.
There we go. Alright, so we're gonna fly up so we can have some wiggle room if in case we make a mistake, which we will. We can do this. Whoa, we can zoom out far. We can zoom out beyond the render distance of the plane. So what I'm doing right now is I'm looking for a swamp so I can find slime cubes, you know, slimes. Because I need slime for the TNT duper. Here's a village. No swamp though, that's kind of amazing. I haven't seen any swamp from this view. I might need to increase the resolution here, I'm not seeing much. Extreme. Well, it's not really extreme, it's high, it's... Alright, I can't see anything. I'm gonna manage fine. This is kind of cinematic though, I kind of like it. Reach the ground! Please, give me the ground back! How much fuel do I have? How long can I stay here? 11 minutes. Here we go. Here's some ground. It may be because it's too far away or something. But this is really bad. This is really bad. Let it load. All right. Goodbye. This makes me kind of annoyed, to be honest. I wanted to have it just so I could like get a good view. I dropped my controller. I dropped the controller! I dropped the fucking controller! Hold on. At least it lands good. It lands nicely.
If you're paying close attention, you might notice that in Minecraft, everything is block-shaped. And that is a problem, since complex shapes like the plane will often hook itself on the corners of blocks, especially with the so-called wheels that require flat surfaces. Crash landing in a forest requires removing all the leaves, never mind the area that you actually need to take off again. Luckily, I have a runway back at home, but otherwise, the open waters actually ended up being the best option to land in. Luckily, I brought an extra redstone link, which is the main ingredient for another controller, but I did need some more fuel, so I decided to camp in the jungle for the night.
Oh, anyone out there?
I did discover a desert temple,
Diamonds.
which gave us the much-needed TNT for the duper. I also managed to fix distant horizons and up the render settings so it looks more closer to home.
There's a patch of snow with a snow village.
These fetch quests were, however, getting a bit exhaustive, so I started testing the limits of my plane to entertain myself.
Well, maybe I can steer the ship like this. Because that would be kind of funny. I was correct. This is kind of funny. I think this is a swamp.
It only took 3 in-game days, but I now finally had enough to make 6 slime blocks after spending even more agonizing time trying to find the tropical ocean before realizing I had forgotten to bring a silk touch pickaxe.
Think about this before I went out. This is what I need.
I had everything I needed for the TNT bomber.
Oi, we need to figure out a design here that's gonna work for the end.
Even though the plane is faster than a blimp, I didn't know how the TNT duper would be affected by the speed, so I continued on the blimp route. Not only was it more stable, the hot air burner also doesn't require any fuel to provide lift, so I only needed coal to fuel the forwards thrust. I spent days trying to build the TNT duper blimp. It was exhausting work.
Literally doing pull-ups.
But it'll all be worth it in the end. And after a bit of sweat and tears, I was ready for takeoff.
Look at this. This works. If I bring out the controller... Ah! Where are the other 2 pieces? I'm missing 2 pieces here.
Well, nothing like taking another trip towards the swamp. I had some difficulties. I died for one thing. My patience was dwindling.
I'm not even looking.
I got the blimp stuck in a tree.
Really shouldn't be. Come on.
Now I am grumpy. I realized you could reverse the speed of a propeller by right-clicking with a wrench. I then crash-landed in the middle of a field that got bombarded by skeletons and zombies. Oh, no, what? Oh! Then I had to use the plane to get my items in time before they despawned. Approaching.
Now we can repair the ship and add the TNT. Literally like, what do you call it? Top Gun. Just like Top Gun. So now theoretically if I press this, it should launch. Alright, it works. Here we go. I don't even think I've rated this place. Of course, with any new experiment, you always need to test it first, and seeing as how the mood just kind of set itself, I have the perfect target in mind. The end is nigh. Count your blessings. Tell your children you love them. I have arrived. It is Steve. Airship Steve. All right, let her fly. Is that even destroying anything, or is it just blowing up in the air? I think it is. We'll put it at 2. Oh! Okay, that. Okay, don't have that on when you're flying. Oh no! I think it blew up my stuff. Now I need to walk there. All right, let's sleep. Damn it! Oh, this revelation was actually pretty bad. Since we needed the duper for the end boss fight, it needed to be sturdy, and if TNT can get stuck on the duper, I was pretty certain we would be seeing that again. It's gonna be kind of awkward. Sorry guys, forgot my ship. Massive blow. Did my slime ball survive? I don't think it did, so I need to go back to the swamp. I might use the rope pulley system. Oh, if I could connect the ship to this. Come here, airship! Oh no, oh no. And with the plane returned safely, it was once again time to go back to the swamp for slime. I hope I don't have to go back here again. That would kinda suck. I've already been here 3 times now. And it was at this point where I started to lose my patience. Going to the swamp can take upwards of an hour total, especially if you consider all the fuel you need to prepare for the journey. Since I didn't even know if defeating the Ender Dragon with these kind of contraptions was even possible, I just wanted to get the obvious things out of the way so I didn't end up wasting time on stuff that will ultimately lead to nothing. I want my chest. And in a second of dreariness, I realized that the greatest enemy wasn't the Ender Dragon after all. It was the haunted essence of Mr. Bean! This feels like a Mr. Bean skit. I want my chest. Oh. With just a few seconds of footage of me overlooking this forest, I had practically nothing to go off of, trying to find my ship as well as the items that I'd spent 2 days gathering. And because I spawned all the way back in the swamp, and I'm back, I had even less time to find them. I lost my silk touch, I lost all of my slime, I lost 2 TNT, I lost my honey glue. Despite all of that, I managed to pinpoint the exact location where I died without relying on coordinates. I found it. I think it's too late though. There is a corner here which points towards the spot where I died. But at that point, everything I've worked towards was gone. It would have been so easy to cheat, to skip a beat, or to give up. Coming up on 3 real days of constant grind, I knew this was only the beginning, and if I was having trouble in the overworld, I could only imagine the end. Ever since a kid, I've always dreamt of beating Minecraft and getting the Elytra. But I was brought back to something my father told me the second I was born. Man was not meant to beat the Ender Dragon. It was at that moment I realized I needed to prove him Mr. Wrong. It's not a real adventure without a bit of setback. That's my saying now. We'll find the ship eventually. Yeah, that's my ship, I think. Finding my plane and getting it off the trees took days of deliberation. Like an hour. It's been a new day. I was eventually able to locate and retrieve the plane, but this loss finally cleared my head. I was looking to optimize wherever I can and discovered that Create allows you to make slime from wheat and cactus, so I headed for the desert. Yeah, I'm looking for a desert right now because I need cactus, and I need cactus to get green dye, so I can get light green dye. so that I can convert crushed wheat into dough, so I can convert that into slime. This has taken me, what day is it? 102! Alright, we're past the 100-day mark. That's nice. I think I spent day 100 trying to get my ship back after I crashed it. I got as much wheat and cactus as I could hold, and after converting it all to slime, we were ready with our second attempt. That's good. We do not descend when that is on. That's a rule number 1. Rule. If I had a big rule list, that would be rule number 1. Let loose. Let loose. Yeah! It's working! There we go. Now this is a ship. Look at that. It launches it forwards as well. Sometimes it launches them like in a weird direction, like here. Which is kind of scary. Look at that. Just land. Successful attempt! Damn! That's great. What's up, guys? I have my... Oh, yeah. Hello. Ah, just need a bit of fuel. Then we'll be on our way. I can cut down some of your houses in the meantime. I may be a monster, but I'm not wasteful. Good haul! Good raid! Wow. Awesome! I had a lot of dirt. I got a lot of materials from that. Like, it was so easy to farm. 4 stacks of dirt. And I didn't even collect everything. I left most of it to waste. But on brighter news, like, I can just use this whenever I need to farm materials for building. I can just use this ship. We could bomb a forest. We could bomb our forest, actually. We could bomb this area. Alright, let's see. Let's see our yield. Here we go. We'll just follow this trail. Alright. Ah! Solving the TNT duper and using it to harvest as much materials as I could find, I believe I just surpassed the last major struggle of this challenge. So giving myself a well-earned break before the end, I polished the house and built a grand aquarium for my new axolotl friends. Well, that dirt pillar kinda has to remain in the air. I need to be able to see where my home is. Let's go to the nether. We need to bring some blaze rods and enderman. I think I can trade. I can trade ender pearls. I just need to bring gold. Alright, go gold! Go. Ooh. Trade. The child can't trade. Are you an idiot? That's child labor. The fuck aren't you trading? Man, he's unemployed. What a bozo. Alright, now you can have everything. I tried to barter the ender pearls with the gold I had, but I had completely underestimated the amount of gold I actually needed for the trade. I'd even spent more than an hour getting the gold from as many overworld pearls as I could find, but it was never enough. Come on, you're giving me 1 shot of ender pearls here. I need more. That's not gonna cut it. They're grilling me upstairs, man. Making matters worse, I also had a difficult time getting the blaze rods from the blaze. Oh, come on! Oh. Right, I don't have any materials to build up with. Don't understand. Alright, I'm done. Oh, great. It looks like they fell. Of course there's blazes there! Ah! Oh. Of course, the blade rods aren't here. The shield is gone as well, so I need to go back. And I died. Wow. I think it's time to confess to you all, I haven't really played Minecraft in a while, so I struggle a lot in the nether. Luckily, I was on my way of inventing a new form of transportation. The helicopter. Compact design, offering lift through blades instead of heated air, I can make better use of the analog transmission, which controls rotational speed with redstone signal strength, powered by a redstone accumulator, which allows me to store a redstone signal like a charge. If you then hook up 2 redstone links, you can simulate a throttle-like design to fine-tune your motor strength from the controller itself. Especially useful in the roofed confines of the nether. Using a throttle up not only gives us better control with our height, using the gyroscope propeller, I could also stabilize myself upwards, making it a perfect contender for the duper. Since it was more stable, I also tried my hands on the potato cannons to get rid of those dastardly blazes. And after painstakingly gathering all the materials, I was finally ready to build it in the nether. Oh, I thought this would take like 2 real days to do. Maybe I could do it in like 50 Minecraft days. Now we're on day 148. And we're still counting. I don't know how long this is gonna be. I just wanted to make a plane. So now we have this. I'm gonna build it out of dirt because, yeah, you know, flammable pad. Dirt is a lot more sturdy. Let's go.
The helicopter was now retrievable, but here's the catch. I did not have iron, and iron is important because it was the key ingredient to craft the item I had assigned to the throttle up. So I could only turn off the engine, and should it fall into the lava, I would be kind of boned. You might think it's over here, and I'll be honest, I was so exhausted I kinda wished that it was. But the engine was still going. I was on an unknown timer, requiring me to find iron, process it, and craft a handle, then park the helicopter before the engines shut off.
At least I got a blaze rod, so that's nice. Well, I don't know if you can tell by my face, but I'm extremely exhausted. That was not fun at all. That's maybe like the lowest low I've had doing YouTube yet. Because that is hours of work. This is day 5. I never thought it would take more than 5. I thought it would take like 1 or 2 days to do this.
Your end is near, Mr. Blaze. Hug your family good night. Uh-oh. That is burning.
Oh. Alright, they can still shoot me.
I'd always clung on to hope that maybe the mobs couldn't see me, since contraptions are separated by so-called sub-levels that lets them rotate in a regular Minecraft world. But I had completely underestimated the functionality of this mod. Not only can they see me, they can break parts of the contraption if they land a hit.
Mechanism. Oh, it did destroy part of the ship.
I had no idea it could do that.
Okay, did it destroy anything? I thought it looked like something fell down. What was that? It was
The turning! Well, the steering broke on my helicopter, so I needed a new approach. Then I got an idea. One idea that will let me complete the nether in a dash without much hassle at all. Why don't I just do it normally? But to do that, we first have to dismantle the helicopter.
Here we go. Oh. I'm not sad. I have an allergic reaction. I'm not actually sad.
Endermen from the overworld are quite difficult to find, but I knew I could get ender pearls from the warped forests, so that's where I headed.
Look at that. Look at that. There's several here. Cinema. Ooh! He actually dropped one. I don't have to do this anymore.
Now it all comes down to what design we want. We have a couple of options. We're not gonna do the airplane because holy fuck, imagine using the airplane in there. So yeah, the airplane is on. Where is everything actually? Where is the ship? This is like when you're looking for your car in a car park, so you just turn on the alarm. Nothing is flying up. Oh, there it is. It is flying away. Oh, luckily it has fuel. It still has fuel on itself. I think I might have turned it on. It's been a lot of ups and downs, mostly downs. But now comes the big challenge, the biggest of them all. The question that we've all been waiting for. Why were you here? Why were you here? How am I gonna bring all of it there? I might need to make it like a little balloon. Wait, like... Using the few ender pearls that I actually got from the piggling bartering, I had already scouted the location of the end portal a few days before, so now it was just a matter of getting my items there. And after having finally harnessed the wisdom required for the end, I went to my creative testing world. My main problem throughout all of my contraptions was always a lack of control. We also need to make the width of the contraption an even number since the duper is 2 blocks wide. A regular helicopter wouldn't do, but by using 4 gyroscopic propellers placed on each corner, the contraption would stabilize itself enough that the duper couldn't jam. We're going, and we're kinda stable. I also integrated the throttle design from our helicopter. I have plenty of space here to move around. And with the open space, I could easily get off my seat and refuel the engines as needed.
Fine, like it turns so slowly.
It was a bit slow, but being the most controllable aircraft I've built yet, I was certain this was the right fit for the Ender Dragon.
Dragon Ender.
Now with all my items gathered, I set out to carve a hangar inside the island where I'd be able to replicate the quadcopter away from the dragon. I then create an opening on the side where the copter would exit, travel all the way to an end city, arm the TNT, plan my attack before heading back. I really don't know if wood is a good material for this. I mean... yeah, you know... you know...
Alright, let's use the assembler.
Oh. Okay. Well, that's coming with. Let's get out of here, man! Before the Ender Dragon comes! No, he's following me! Oh, he turned! He turned at the right! You have no idea how relieved I felt after leaving the hangar. Without exception, no other contraption had worked on the first try. Especially scary since we now don't have any ground to crash into. But with the copter done, I could safely visit an end city, remove the end stone, and arm my TNT for the final fight.
That went exactly as planned. Exactly as planned. Okay, what?
Apparently Create has a countermeasure in case a simulated block falls into the void. A force field will hold it up, meaning I had a chance to save my copter and get it working again. The only problem, it was tilted. Because Sable actually rotates blocks, at some angle you can't stand upright on blocks and will instead slip off. I tried to hold down shift so I could turn off my engine, but I didn't realize I didn't have my controller activated, so I accidentally jumped off instead. I pressed shift! Oh! Come on, I pressed shift to descend!
What's wrong with that?
Why? I pressed all of the engines! But sometimes it doesn't deposit the fuel and that's why it failed! Oh... Oh, man!
I'm gonna get dove by the Ender Dragon if I build out there.
That's annoying part that when you put in coal in the engine, there's like an extremely tiny part. There we go. An extremely tiny part where you actually can. Oh my god! It's an extremely tiny part where you actually can input the coal. It doesn't really tell you if you've done it or not. Why am I going downwards? Like, you have no idea how difficult it is not to cheat. Like, I could just spend half a minute, turn myself into creative, get the ship back and do it again. I don't want to do that though. Because it's disingenuous to the actual experience of doing this. I'm not good at Minecraft. I'm not good at it. So I'll make mistakes and I'm an idiot. But maybe if I do it wrong, you can do it right. Oh, like I'm trying to be in a good mood. I'm just really upset. There's no meme. We could make the end. Oh, we could make an airship and retrieve it. We can do that with what we have. I thought that maybe if I made a blimp, I could sail out and repair the quadcopter from the void.
All right, let's build.
So I built one as fastly and as cheaply as I could, but there was a problem. I forgot to record my screen. Luckily my replay mod was on, but that doesn't render the blimp, so it looks like I'm flying. The second problem was that I was way too slow to the point that I couldn't escape the dragon. Oh, come on! Oh, I can't do it. It's been several days. I tried and failed several times, extending a pillar out to the void just so I could reach back to the blimp, and even though I was eventually able to leave the island and reach the quadcopter, if you can't tell by my reactions, I was not feeling great. God damn it! I eventually turned the video back on, but not being able to access the engines, I had no idea how to fix this ship. I did have some end stone blocks with me, so I just started placing them on the ship, hoping it would do something. But with the fuel slowly running out of my blimp, I knew it was only a matter of time before I got stranded in the void again. So I jumped, hoping that I could solve my problem from the quadcopter itself. I could wait for an hour. If I waited for the fuel to run out, maybe the helicopter would stabilize itself, allowing me to walk around freely.
I now have 1 stack of coal that I could use for the engines.
It was a big gamble, but it was the only option I had left. I just couldn't afford to lose this ship. So I waited, and I had a lot of time to think about the past and all of the failures that I witnessed.
What's wrong with that? Why? What the
The engine is out!
Oh my... Okay, we're at a terrible angle.
I tried desperately to get the quadcopter back up, but it refused to yield. Since it was tilted downwards, it made it almost impossible to walk around, and I eventually tripped and fell down to the very bottom.
You thought it couldn't get worse, ladies and gentlemen, but it could. This is not good enough. I will give up. Hasta la vista, Dragon Ender.
It seems like the only dragon you managed to end was my resilience. But just before logging off, I thought about one last failure, and I was brought back to the time I dropped my favorite replica plane. It broke into a million pieces, but no one cared. I even called 911, but not even the police would help me. In my grief, my father, Male 7, turned to me 2 seconds after I was born and said, "Man was not meant to cry." I realized in that moment that I was trying to prove everyone around me wrong. But after everything I've been through, the only one who needed to believe was me. And if I wanted to beat the Ender Dragon, I needed to be faster than the Ender Dragon.
We will come back tomorrow stronger than ever. We're gonna create a plane. It didn't really work, but I think it might, now that we've discovered this.
All my research couldn't have been in vain, so I went back to the first plane we made as a groundwork to develop the TNT duper plane. Using one duper was risky, since the speed contributed by the plane would sporadically launch the TNT in random directions, so I was unlikely to hit anything. Wanna know how I solved that? Using 2 TNT dupers. With this addition, I was able to cover even more ground, but it was still too wide. Then I had an amazing idea, the one that would set my legacy in stone. What if I used 4 TNT dupers? All working simultaneously to cover as much area as possible. The TNT had a lot of spread, so I tried to funnel it using blockades, but throughout my tests, I constantly saw TNT getting stuck on the corners of the blocks. This problem was exacerbated by the blockades and the tilt and panning you need for the steering, and I had already blown up more than 10 times during my creative tests. Since 4 TNTs are already on board, a single blow would cause a chain reaction, and every single time it would disable all my dupers and controls, guaranteeing that the plane would be lost to the void for good. But this was the best chance I got at defeating the dragon. Because my 4 dupers were surrounding each other, they would naturally block some of the spread themselves, only this time I could actually shake them off. With that out of the way and 2 real days worth of careful planning and resource gathering, I was ready for round 2. We're off.
I have my glasses on.
Testing TNT cannons! Test success! Testing lamp!
We don't have a lot of small pillars this time.
Lamp work!
Oh, it's gonna be so scary. I'm gonna have to be super careful here. Alright, good first try. It's still too low, but
3 of them are done already. What the fuck?
I can't really look back either, because if I find a TNT on my ship, I need to immediately steer it away. We're taking our time. We're not using the TNT cannon unless we absolutely have to. Keep in mind, there's 4 cannons here. I've had troubles with 1 cannon. And if I make a mistake, it's not really like, oh, I did this thing wrong. It's like, oh, I was slightly off angle. Ideally, it doesn't go as fast as well, but we're gonna have to deal with that because we have an Ender Dragon.
Oh shit! The dragon is coming after me!
Oh, he's throwing 3 of them. Damn. No.
Always prepare to tilt downwards after you throw away the TNT. I've gotten a TNT stuck every single time now.
Aiming for the iron cages.
What the fuck?
Should have been a bit lower. I don't know, it's kind of difficult to tell. You don't really know where you should be, like height-wise. I use the lamp, so I know, like, at the bare minimum, I should be at 153, because the TNT falls 77 blocks before it explodes, and then plus the height of the tower. Otherwise, it's gonna have to land right on the pillar, which isn't always possible to do. It seems to work though consistently. When I do my creative tests, I have never survived this long. So yeah, this is why I'm so nervous, because if I forget to tilt downwards after that, and there's a TNT on my ship, I'm dead. Everything was going surprisingly well, but I kept thinking back to the time I made my first TNT duper blimp. If you remember what I said, it needed to be sturdy, and if TNT can get stuck on the duper, I was pretty certain we would be seeing that again. And it turns out I was right. A jam was bound to happen at some point. Well, it works. That has never happened before. Oh my god! I think it might be off-balanced. No shit. Oh, hold on. Let me repair the ship. It's 2 blocks long. That's why I brought stone, so I could make changes like that. No, the minecart is gone. We only have 2 working engines. I think we can park. I mean, it's... Now I decided on whether or not I should park and repair the ship. But since the risk involved with the Ender Dragon if I were to land, and the fact that the TNT might just combust on its own when it collides with the ground, I chose to keep going. Since the TNT could no longer get funneled by the other dupers, the spread made it impossible to hit anything. But occasionally they would fall straight down normally, so I knew the answer was out there. So you need to be at a right angle. Yeah, right, you have to turn on that. And during this fight, I realized it had something to do with the angle. I am at a straight angle now, so I don't understand why it's not working. Oh, that's a good angle. That's a perfect angle. It's the minus X. It's the X angle. More specifically, the X-axis. By laying perpendicular to it, we could narrow the spread of the TNT, which actually saved this run. The pillar that I made actually came in handy because I used it as a reference to tell me where the X-axis was pointing towards. Holy shit. The dragon will damage you if you run into it. But even with this trick, it still took a long time. You can only do reliable damage when the dragon is perching, but even then it's still too slow, to the point that another jam was bound to happen before concluding the fight. But unbeknownst to me, I was already halfway done! Because the plane is so far away, I haven't even realized that I'd already destroyed all the end crystals. Some of the bedrock caught on fire, which is very difficult to differentiate from active end crystals with distant horizons. I mean, the extended render distance is still better than nothing at all, otherwise I wouldn't even be able to see them. But eventually I did figure out that the end crystals were done. Are you just burning? Yeah, that is gone. That is completed. We have completed this step. Now it's just the dragon. Whoa. Look at that. Oh my god, it got stuck on the ship. I can't drive into them. It's gonna get stuck and kill me. I might have done damage there. I can't really... I didn't really pay attention, because if I look too much at the health bar, I'm losing track of how much if TNT is on my plane, so I can't really look at it. Too late. Oh! What the fuck? What the fuck? Okay, what is going on? What the fuck was that? It's because it's closer. It's because I get a direct hit. That's probably why. I've just been getting like snippets of hits. That landed on top of it, probably. That's my guess. Alright, so I just have to get direct hits. And that's why I need to get high up in the air. By remaining at the 153 height threshold, my damage and accuracy skyrocketed to the point that I was finally convinced I could defeat the Ender Dragon before another TNT jam. Shit, this is turning out to be quite fast if you do it correctly. Yeah, the height really matters. Height really matters. They think it's all about personality, but no. We're like 1 good hit away from beating the dragon. I noticed the dragon was there in the last second. Holy shit! And then when I saw the bombs fall, I just knew it would land. Yes! I've never beaten the dragon. Ever. It's so funny that I was able to do it with this. Look at that, it's all the way out there. Whoa. 6 days! It might be 7 days, actually. Alright, now how do I land? Oh man, to go from crying, because I was actually upset the first time I crashed. I was actually upset. I did not have enough tools to be able to recuperate. I knew I was just screwed there. You guys are saved! I saved the city! We did it, Patrick! We saved the city! Dude, this feeling is awesome. I'm so happy. I'm so proud of myself because I really persisted. I did not... Do you know how actually like how much I felt like cheating? Like I'm never gonna cheat on these types of challenges. I don't think that's fair, and I think I would need to communicate that if that's the case. It would be such a bummer to be like, oh yeah, I crashed my plane. I'm gonna have to pick it up now. No, but it took at least 2 days to recuperate that loss. All right, let's go get an elytra. Why? Why? Fuck off! Fuck off! Please!
Ah! I lost my levels! I lost 65 levels!
Oh. Alright, yeah, that's why you don't want to land. Now we lost our second one. Well, we can still fly. We have one more active engine. Yeah, we have one more that works. Ah, perfect. Plane still works. Oh, sorry. Still flying. No, it's just a normal plane. Nice, I dropped it. Where's the seat? Alright. I swear! Oh my god! we lost more than what we came in with.